You are a heartbeat in this dressing room, Andy Flower said to Virat Kohli in the IPL 2026 championship dressing room. And the first thing I thought of was a kid named Shekhar who could never run away from Lalaji. Stay with me because these two things are connected. And by the end of this episode, you will never forget why. I'm Krishnan Iyer, and this is the Mosaic Mind. Let me start at the beginning of that story. Not the IPL dressing room, a different kind of dressing room. The backside of a building in Mulund, Mumbai. Around 1977. Fifth standard, 10 years old. The backside of Gokul building was our ground, our only ground. No Adarsh Villa, no Rajkamal. Gokul's backside was perfect, and everyone knew it. 2 pitches, short for underarm, long for overarm, and we lived there every afternoon after school. I lived in Shanti Bhavan on Sarojini Naidu Road, the main road to Mulund station. 10 minutes from Gokul on foot. But if you knew which boundary walls to jump, and I did, it was 3 minutes. I always took the 3-minute route. The squad was already established when Shankar and I joined Suresh and his brother Vinod. Their cousin Prakash on the ground floor with a door you could walk straight through into Suresh and Vinod's house. That door was the unofficial entry point to everything. Dilip, Sunil, slightly older than the rest of us. Shekhar, Lata's brother, who also studied with us at Bani Vidyalaya. Mahesh and Anil. Anil was also in our class at Bani Vidyalaya, our elementary school. He had an eyesight problem that made playing cricket genuinely difficult. And he showed up at every single time, not because of what he contributed with the bat, but because he was simply always there, every time without fail. I want you to hold on to Anil. We'll come back to him. Then there were international players. Shankar Narayanan or Anand from Adarsh Villa, who I'd met at school. Rajesh and his brother Ashwin, also Adarsh Villa. Mulund from Rajkamal. Ramu's cousin, also called Ramu, which nobody ever sorted out. And of course, me from Shanti Bhavan. Nobody called it the Gokul Premier League. That name did not exist. But looking back now, through 50 years of cricket, I know exactly what it was. The Gokul boys were the franchise. The rest of us were the international players. We were running an IPL franchise, 40 years before the IPL existed. We just did not have the language. The bat Prakash brought was somewhere between a cricket bat and a reshaped cloth washing mallet. It did not matter. Now, about Lalaji. Lalaji lived on the first floor of Gokul. Deepak's dad and Mrs. Lalaji, both of them. The ball did not need to hit the window. It could come within range of it, look at it from a distance, and the shouting would begin. We were scared, genuinely scared, because this was the only place we had. No backup ground, no alternative. So we absorbed the shouting, waited for it to pass, and kept playing. A couple of times, someone did actually break the window pane. I will not say who. But Lalaji and Mrs. Lalaji, always without fail, suspected Shekhar every time. The evidence was never conclusive. The verdict was always the same. Here is why. The rest of us were from different buildings. When the shouting started, we could scatter. Back to Shanti Bhavan, to Adarsh Villa, to Raj Kamal. Gone. Shekhar lived on the same floor as Lalaji. He had nowhere to go. He was already home. He was the only one who could never run. That WhatsApp group with all of those people is still active today. Now, let me bring you forward in time. 50 years, a different country, a different kid. My son started playing leather ball cricket at 7 years old at the Chennai Super Kings Academy. I bought an IPL subscription around the same time, and he was hooked within a week. That love traveled with us to the Pacific Northwest, to the Major League Cricket Academy in Seattle, Redmond Cow Corner, and now the Seattle Thunderbolts Academy. But his real version of the Gokul Premier League is the Seattle Youth Cricket League and the American Recreational Tape Ball League. That is where he found his people, where he plays alongside his friends in one competition and faces those same friends in another, where he discovered that cricket is not about which team you are on. It is about what happens between people who love the same game. The friendships form regardless of the result. That is what the game gives you. That is what it has always given. MLC Season 1, 2023. The Seattle Orcas made the final and lost to MY New York by 7 wickets. That was the beginning of understanding what this league was becoming. In June 2024, the T20 World Cup came to America. We went to New York with Vijay Beniwal and Dhananjay Tripathi and their boys Ahan and Naksh to watch America defeat Pakistan at Grand Prairie Stadium, one of the top teams in world cricket, beaten by the United States on their own turf. The boys were right there. They watched it happen. That summer, cricket in America stopped being something you explained to people. It became something they already knew. We watched Siraj bowl live. We got a picture with him. Some things you do not plan and cannot explain and never forget. MLC Season 3, 2025, Oakland Coliseum. I brought both my boys. My older son played American football and wrestled in high school. Cricket is not his game. But he came and he sat next to his brother and he understood something about why his brother cares, about what the weight actually is. He has more resources than I ever had. Coaches, academies, proper gear. What I had was Prakash's washing mallet, a strip of ground behind Gokul, and Anil, who kept showing up even when the game was hard for him to play, while Lalaji shouted from the first floor and nobody paid him any attention. The core of what a cricket team is does not change. Behind Gokul building, in an IPL dressing room, on a tape ball ground in Seattle. He is building his own version of the Gokul Premier League. I hope it teaches him what mine taught me, and I hope he carries it forward without quite knowing why. The way I still do. Now let me tell you what Andy Flower actually said. On May 31st, 2026, RCB won the IPL final against Gujarat Titans. That night, the club posted a 5-minute video of Flower sitting with his squad in the dressing room. Over 1.3 million people watched it in 24 hours. I watched it 3 times. His coaching record, 10 grand championships across 8 different formats on 4 continents. He did not talk about any of that. Here is what he said. At 1:03 in the video, when you're playing at the top level, Test cricket, World Cups, IPL, you need to be highly skillful. You need cricket intelligence, but you really need to have heart. Skill, intelligence, heart, in that order. The first 2 get you in the room. The third determines everything that happens there. On Virat Kohli at 1:19. You are a heartbeat in this dressing room. The courage that you continually show to go out there and put yourself on the line and take on high-quality opposition is a bloody great role model for all of us. Courage, not talent. A decision made repeatedly under pressure when the result is not guaranteed. That is what Flower was honoring. not the runs, the decision. On Krunal Pandya at 212, KP, in 11 years of IPL cricket, you've won 5 times. That's not a coincidence. You might not have a title, but you lead internally in the group. The trust that people have in you and the trust that you'll hold your nerve when the pressure is on, that's a special thing. 5 titles in 11 years. On the night of the 5th, Flower honored not the wickets, but the invisible thing. The trust others place in you before you've done anything that day to earn it. On Venkatesh Iyer at 350, the fact that you committed yourself to being ready for when the call came has been a huge contributor to us winning this title. Venki started the season on the sidelines. Not in the starting lineup, not in the headline. And Flower, in the championship dressing room, called his preparation a contributor to winning the title. Not consolation, contribution. Flower closed with this. If you've got people who are putting in everything they've got, you've got a bloody good chance of having a great time together, of building some bonds that last and doing well. 3 things. That's it. 3 things from that dressing room that hold up everywhere you go. 1. Heart is the differentiator, not skill. Skill is the entry fee. Heart is what happens after. In any organization, find the people who run toward the hard problems when they do not have to. Those are your Virat Kohlis. Protect them. 2. You can lead without a title. Krunal Pandya's influence comes from trust built quietly over 11 years. The most valuable people in any room you will ever be, and often have no formal authority. They lead through presence and consistency. Find them. Protect them too. 3. Readiness in the shadows is a contribution, not a consolation. Venki on the sidelines, staying ready when no one was watching, changed the outcome of an IPL championship. Think about what that means for every person on your team who is waiting for their call. Now, remember Anil? Anil showed up at the backside of Gokul building in Mulund in 1977 with an eyesight problem that made playing difficult. He came every single time. He never missed. He was not the best player on the ground. He was simply always there. Andy Flower just described Anil. In the IPL dressing room, 48 years later, with a coaching record spanning 4 continents and 10 championships, he described a 10-year-old kid from Vani Vidyalaya who kept showing up. That is what the game carries. That is the weight. It turns out it was never a burden. That is the whole game. Everything else is statistics. I'm Krishnan Iyer. This is the Mosaic Mind. If this episode meant something to you, share it with someone who played cricket as a kid. They'll know exactly what this is about. Thank you for listening.